number of dignitaries I can see, DG Arnett, CIO, T-Hub. Namaskar, good morning to everybody. It gives really very high level of pleasure, and you feel proud also when MC of such a tech Sabha starts their conversation with all of us with some numbers like UPI transaction 5 billion per month. It starts from 1.92 billion vaccination on COVID. Talk about e-Sanjeevani, which is 390 million. That means we have achieved what we wanted to achieve. If any technical session starts by this remark from the MC, it's really proud for all of us. You know who should be given credit to this? Credit should be given to parents of my age engineers or your engineers. Why they should be given credit? We are discussing just outside. We are incidental engineers, Since we were good in 12th, we have been put on a conveyor belt to do engineering, become the engineer, right? And then some Infosys, some company will caught you, and then you become the engineer, right? And those engineers, which is 1.5 million in this country, they have created this public good platform, Now we are talking about the public good platform, and those has been created by the incidental engineers, not the engineer by choice. And in fact, this summit says India's leading e-governance summit. It should be leading India's, leading but should come before, because now we are leading in e-governance all over the world. We must thank NIC, we must thank all the organizations who is involved in public good platform, whether it is CoWIN platform, whether it's NPCI. We have created such a huge infrastructure for all of us, which can be remembered by anybody all over the world. Sometimes people think this is e-governance summit. Why this power session, by power people, for the power of data centers, right? But this is all integrated, Whether you talk about the data center, whether you talk about the ICT application, whether you talk about the startup, whether you talk about the e-governance, this is all integrated. This is actually one thing. Sometimes we think, no, he's working in data center, he's working in cloud services, he's working in e-governance, no, he's working with ICT, he's working with the startup ecosystem of this country. It's not like that. Everything is integrated. And it has to be integrated. That convergence should happen if we really want innovation. So the first thing for the innovation, as of date innovation, is collaboration, convergence, and this is basically happening by this technology Sabha, by this organizer of this summit. This is actually required for this country. In India, as I said, we have talented engineers, pool of talented engineers, right policy from the government side, whether it is a smart city mission, whether it is a Agni, whether it is a startup India, these all are the right policy initiative taken by the government. And this startup India has created lot of change, sea change in this country. Today, more than 70,000 startups are registered with DPIIT. More than 25,000 are technical startup. We have 50% of the startup which is coming from tier 2, tier 3 cities. That means real growth, real development is happening in this country. When there is an inclusive growth, everybody wants to participate in the startup ecosystem of this country. This is not now startup ecosystem, or the technology is not limited to tier 1 cities. It is going beyond that. That is the matter of happiness for all of us, matter of proud for all of us. Government has taken a lot of initiatives when it comes to startup. We have third largest ecosystem as far as startup is concerned in this world. We have already created more than 100 unicorns in this country. Around 32 regulation has been simplified for the startups. More than 200 relaxation has been extended by Income Tax Department. Therefore, we all are working to simplify the process so that a startup can come into the market, they can access the market. This is what the ultimate objective of the government. We have NPSP, which is Software Product Policy. We have done wonders in ICT. IT revenue was US $8 billion in 2000. Today we are talking about the 227 billion US dollar. We have done wonders when it comes to software services. Now this is the time we have to increase our share in the world in the software product, and that can be achieved through startup ecosystem of this country. We have mere 13 billion US dollar when it comes to software product. We have target of 70-80 billion US dollar. We have 10,000 startups to product, for the software product. STPI has played a major role when it comes to information technology. As I said, we have reached from 8 billion to 227 billion US dollar. We have 2% of GDP contribution of software industry. IT industry is 2% of GDP in 2000. Now we have more than 7%, 7.4% precisely. STPI is also creating very state-of-art startup ecosystem in the country. We have 25 Center for Entrepreneurship, and those centers are generally domain specific. We have a startup on fintech, exclusively on fintech, which is at Chennai. Name is FinBlue. We have created good sandbox. We have APIs from number of banks, even internationally also. We have collaboration with Singapore Bank and all. We have created a good sandbox. Anybody who wants to create any app, any startup, want to do any experimentation, want to check their hypothesis, they can use those sandbox in our FinBlue startup at Chennai. We have one startup at Pune, which is called Motion, which is for automobiles. You will find lot of if anybody visit those startups centers, you will find lot of energy in the youngsters. Those entrepreneurs, those budding entrepreneurs, they have lot of energy. They are creating you can't even think of. So they will make you to something, imagine which you have never thought, or in fact you have never imagined. So Motion we have, which is dedicated to automobiles, which is at Pune. For electronics, we have, it's called IoT Open Lab at Bangalore. For blockchain, we have one startups center at Gurgaon. For big data analytics, AI, we have one startup center at Mohali. Similarly, so on. So we have 25 Center for Entrepreneurship, and we also running one scheme is called Next Generation Incubation Scheme, which is focused on Tier 2, Tier 3 cities. As I said, we want to also tap the talent of the Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, where we provide 25 lakh rupees as a seed fund to the startup, those who are coming from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. So we have created a very conducive environment so that a startup can grow. They can create product. Those products could be of any type. But one thing which is missing, people talk about the fintech, people talk about auto tech, IoT Open Lab, but something which is missing is, which is called civic tech. Though maybe out of 400, 500 startup which is enrolled with STPI, some of working in the civic tech also. But anyhow, this is a missing part. And the reason behind missing part is this. They are working some, let us say, sanitation. They are working on conservation of water. They are working on some waste management. It's very difficult for the government authorities to appreciate them. They may not be having that level of valuation. They may not be able to generate that level of revenue. But you see the passion of those youngsters. They have the passion. They want to connect the dots. So I request all state government officers who are sitting here or they are listening to me, you must be sympathetic to them. They may not be having very good revenue model. If your startup is working in fashion technology, they know how to make the money. But somebody whose startup, whose app is for the waste management, when they go to the government authority, they say, oh, it's nothing, I don't know how it will happen. Actually, this happens. When this COVID app was created, so I was discussing with some of the people in my apartment, they say, what is this application? How it can help in vaccination? Whether it will create doctors? No. Whether it will create vaccine? No. Then why so much hype of the COVID app? People are not able to appreciate that such apps will create efficiency. They will create optimum utilization of the existing resource, which will be sufficient. They are saving your resource. This is also a generation of the resource. So they are able to book your block slot at appropriate time. They are saving the time of the doctors. The doctor can be used for some other purpose also. But it becomes very difficult for the people of my generation or your generations to appreciate the strength of those small apps, those small work of startup in real sense. But that must be appreciated. If you are saving, there was a old tagline, if you are saving 1.5 of one unit of the electricity, then you are producing 1.5 of the unit. So saving, efficient system, optimum utilization of the resource, these must be appreciated by everybody. And all state government authorities, I must request them, when some startup, some young entrepreneurs comes to you, they tell, sir, I have some solution for waste management. Don't think, can your app pick the waste from your house? Answer may be no. But it can manage in such a manner that your waste management problem can be solved to the large extent. Whether it is a sanitation problem, waste management, we have number of startups. They are having very good water management system where you can measure that at 12 to 1 how much water has been consumed. They are giving online this thing to you. We have startups which is working at Meditech Lucknow. We have one more startup ecosystem at Lucknow which is called Meditech, which is working on health. So you can measure your creatinine, you can measure your blood sugar 10 times in a day. They put one small strip at your urinal. And these kind of the innovation are happening. But we all have responsibility. As a state government, you have the responsibility that those should be used in some primary hospital of this country. They can collect the data. And we are doing well and we can do well just because of the two simple reasons. Number one, as I said, we have large pool of talented people in this country. And second, which is again become our asset, we can create large data. And for all deep technologies, whether it is artificial intelligence, whether it is machine-to-machine learning, if you want to really create good algorithm for artificial intelligence, then you need a lot of data. And that data can only be created by this country because we have 1.3 billion people. This is today's our strength. We should organize that data. We should provide that data We should ensure that data is available to the people who are working in the artificial intelligence, who are working in machine-to-machine learning. Not today, but tomorrow, this could become very good asset for the country. Second thing is, sometimes we think we have done softwareization, like he says we have MIS. And this is enough. Now also we are using technology. Because we have done softwareization, you can just fill the form electronically, a result will come electronically. It's not sufficient. Now we are at the next phase of revolution. We are the next phase of, I met somebody, he says, I said, he was some HR, he was doing some HR function. He says, I used to verify the data provided by a company when they are hiring some CEO, CEO level. So I said, why not use some good technology? He said, I'm using technology. So when company asks about somebody's CEO's detail, he send everything online, verify it from the university and from here and there, and then send information electronically. I asked, did you ever try for blockchain? He said, what is this? I said, it will reduce your cost maybe by 1/10 of it. But I don't know what is blockchain. So unless we are prepared to use new and newest technology, those require experimentation. It's very difficult to cope up with this dynamic world, which is much, much faster than what we think of actually. Number of GIS application is being developed by these startups, where you can see where is the slum location, what kind of the habitat is required. The number of things are being done by startup, but I think somewhere this civic tech startup ecosystem, civic tech app is being not appreciated the way it has to be appreciated, especially by state government authorities, because they are at the key of all those applications. They must use it, they should try it, they should give chance to those startups that yes, please use it, collect the data, and make it as better as possible. Those people have passion for it. They are not making money. They don't want to make the money out of it. They are passion. I want to do something for country. I want to connect the dots. Please help them. They will be very grateful, not today, maybe tomorrow. Once they are having the data, they will use artificial intelligence, they will use cloud computing, there will so many things they can use, and finally you will get a product which may be best in the world. Because we can have the data. We can collect data of lakhs of the dent in car in single day in this country. In developed country, you will not find a single dented car. How will you collect the data? What the insurance company can do with that artificial intelligence technology? These are innovation. We should all help this startup ecosystem to grow. Only then we can have inclusive growth of this country, and we can really utilize talent available in this country. Thank you very much.